Where's the cell shading, Hasbro? Where's the cell shading, Hasbro? Where's the cell shading, Hasbro? Where? Spider-Man Unlimited isn't exactly what I would call a popular show. What initially was pitched as a straight adaptation of the original 26 issues of the comics was transformed into what felt like a hybrid of Spider-Man 2099 and Batman Beyond, using at the time obscure elements of Marvel history with only 2 of his standard villains and none of his traditional supporting cast. It certainly has a charm to it, and it gave us Rino Romero as Spider-Man, so that's a huge plus, but yeah, it's not exactly surprising that people didn't really care for it. It was very quickly cancelled with only 13 episodes completed. I say all this to say that I wasn't expecting anything exemplary when the Marvel Legends team announced their figure of this Spidey. This isn't a super popular show, so them using this body as opposed to the Amazing Fantasy or Retro bodies doesn't really surprise me. Sure, I would have preferred something that didn't use this old articulation scheme, but this still articulates fine enough and proportionately is perfectly fine. Definitely has better shoulders than some other Spider-Man bodies, that's for sure. He also comes with all the additional hands you'd expect a Spider-Man to have at this point. And credit where it's due, outside of the stripes on the arms and the details on the palms, every major detail this suit is known to have is not only accounted for, but is fully sculpted in. But for as much as there are things I find either tolerable or actually quite good, this figure has one major flaw: the colors. The cell shading is the most obvious problem. This design was made with the cell shading in mind, and without it, well, technically accurate, this Spider-Man just looks off. And even then, the red and blue here is much darker than it should be compared to the show. Not to mention the eyes being more white than the light yellow they're supposed to be. I think what makes this all the more frustrating is, one, even with the new sculpting, I find it hard to believe that they couldn't at least gotten the brighter colors right, and two, there's a strong chance this guy may show up in the VHS line with the brighter colors and cell shading, forcing fans to double dip to get a figure that better matches the source material. I suppose if there is one saving grace, it's that this guy does make for a good starter for anyone who wants to try doing custom paint jobs. I'll leave a link to a few customizing videos I've come across for this guy. They're pretty interesting, and may help you get started if you were thinking of trying to give this guy a new paint job. Might end up doing that myself, but not anytime soon. I've got another custom that I really need to get around to doing first. With all that being said, is this Spider-Man worth picking up? Kind of. It's hard to really recommend him given the clear inaccuracies, but if you're willing to either look past them or fix them yourself, then he'll probably do you just fine. This is the best figure version of this Spidey we've gotten, even if that isn't a high bar to clear. If you're not really the customizing type though, and really can't stand the darker colors and lack of cell shading, I'd recommend caution. Jury's still out on a possible VHS re-release with an updated paid scheme, and he isn't exactly flying off the shelves as far as I can tell, so I think you can risk waiting it out for the time being. If nothing else, you're better off getting him at a discount. And with that being said, we're at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.